So we got a huge preview yesterday with Narci, Fable Singer, and my goodness, is this a really cool commander, and one that players might be thinking about taking it in a certain direction, and that makes total sense, but I'm going to be taking it in a completely different direction, because this might be my favorite commander that we've seen from the year, and I might even just ignore some text on the card, because I think that this commander has so much potential. You can do some really crazy, exciting things with it, and yeah, let's just jump into it. So we've got Narci, Fable Singer, a 3/3 human bard with lifelink that costs 1 white, black, green, so an Abzan commander, and whenever you sacrifice an enchantment, you draw a card. That is huge text. I absolutely love that text. It's kind of like a reverse Enchantress in a way, where, again, Enchantress typically are, whenever an enchantment is cast or whenever one comes into play. This time, this is on the other side of things. Hey, when you're sacrificing enchantments, you basically get to replace them with card draw, which is incredible, which is huge. Now, the rest of that text is, whenever the final chapter of a saga you control resolves, each opponent loses X life for you, and you gain X life for X that saga's mana value. That is nice, and obviously that lends itself completely to that first part as well, because you're going to be sacrificing your sagas, which are enchantments, when those, final chapters resolve. So sure, that works incredibly well. This can definitely be a saga commander, and we were getting more and more sagas these days, and essentially, yes, you can definitely fill out a full saga deck with this one. That being said, that is not the direction that I want to go with this. Sagas, yes, you can somewhat, in some ways, control when they're going to be sacrificed if you've got, say, proliferate effects and things like that. That being said, there are other enchantments out there that are much more easily able to be sacrificed, even freely in some circumstances, so you can draw those cards exactly when you need them. Now, will I be missing out on that life that life drain with the draw? Sure, I will be missing out on that if I don't focus on sagas. That being said, I think kind of like a reverse Enchantress approach with Enchantress effects in it as well can be absolutely crazy with the amount of card advantage that you can generate, especially in these colors. You got access to some incredible things, and yeah, I think you can do a lot of really cool things with this commander. I'm very excited about this one. There are plenty of ways to use and abuse enchantments in really effective, really cool ways with this one. So yeah, I'm going to be bringing up some cards that I am really excited to include in this deck. We're talking about the budget buys, cards within my price, and the price your picks, cards that are well outside of my budget. Again, cards that are more than $1. Let's start things off with those budget buys though. And to start things off, we've got All Seed of Life's Bounty, a 1/1 nymph. It is an enchantment. There you go, enchantment creature with lifelink for a single white mana. Pay 1, sacrifice it, target creature or enchantment you control gains protection for the color of your choice until end of turn. So this is a great kind of like panic button, save something. So basically, someone's maybe targeting your commander, trying to take it out. Cool, sacrifice this again for just 1 mana. You are also now going to be drawing a card, because again, you are sacrificing an enchantment creature. Again, the important part there being enchantment. Moving on, Carapace, another way to protect our commander. This is a very simple enchantment aura. Costs a single green mana. Target creature gets +0/+2. This is the old text. It would be enchanted creature gets +0/+2. On top of that, you can just sacrifice this to regenerate the enchanted creature. So again, this is a 1 mana, essentially, cantrip with this commander, because we get into play, we can use it to protect our commander, and when we do, we are going to be replacing it. And again, if we've got any other Enchantress effects in play, we're going to be drawing from there too. Yeah, the card draw potential is crazy. Moving on. Basically, the enchantment version of Wayfarer's Bauble, Font of Fertility. Pay 1 in a green, sacrifice, go get a basic land in a play tapped, then shuffle. So now basically on top of this, we are also going to be drawing a card thanks to this fantastic commander. Again, these low to the ground enchantments that are easy to sacrifice can be incredible with a commander like this. You're already getting value out of them. Now get additional value and replace them. So yeah, I'm quite excited about this one. Next up, we got Soul Snare, an enchantment for a single white mana. This is a great card to just have on the battlefield to say, hey, opponents, don't come at me, because I'm going to pay white, sacrifice it, exile target creature attacking you or planeswalker you control. It's going to be a great, again, just deterrent to just have it in play. Have your opponents be like, I don't want to swing at that player with my best creature because they just have to pay a single white mana, and then it's gone. This is just, hey, get away from me. And if they end up attacking you, you know what? Sacrifice it, take out that best creature they have that's attacking you, and also, again, draw a card. Next up, Unbridled Growth. This one is incredible with this commander, and this is the first card that actually came to my mind when I saw it. Enchantment land. It costs a single green mana. It makes your land tap for any color, which is great because, again, now you've got a 3-color commander. You can fix your mana perfectly. Also, on top of that, sacrifice it, draw a card. So, hey, when you play this, you can utilize it, but when you sacrifice it, instead of just drawing 1, you're drawing 2. This is a 1 mana cantrip 2 card. Yeah, this commander's got a lot of potential. Next up, No Rest for the Wicked, a bigger kind of card that can work with your creatures as well. Enchant for 1 in a black, sacrifice, return to your hand all creature cards from your graveyard from play this turn. So again, kind of like a board wipe protection effect that you just keep in play. And there you go. As soon as you are about to lose your things, just get them all back. Moving on, Seal of Cleansing. Enchantment for 1 and a white. Sacrifice it, destroy target artifact or enchantment. There's actually a green version of this as well. It does the exact same thing. There are plenty of enchantments out there that can be sacrificed. Many that can just sacrifice themselves for free. And again, when you're doing that, it's kind of like a free cantrip effect with this commander. So yeah, keep in mind, of course, you have plenty of ways to gain from your enchantments, coming into play, being in play, utilizing their effects. But now you can, just a benefit from actually sacrificing them too, which is huge. And yes, of course, I could mention a lot of sagas. All the sagas essentially can be a great, combination with this commander if you're going in sagas, but that's not the direction I'm going. Not that there's anything wrong with that direction. And again, the commander is built for that direction. I just think it's got more potential with, low to the ground enchantments that can sacrifice themselves and just give you an absurd amount of kind of like enchantment draw storm in a way. Next up, we've got Enchantress's Presence. An enchantment for 2 in a green. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, draw a card. So yeah, Enchantress type effects like this one are incredible. Again, you're already getting value from sacrificing enchantments with this commander. Get value on the other side, the regular way that you'd be getting value with Enchantress decks. Again, drawing cards by casting them, drawing cards by getting them into play. There are plenty of effects like this, and by utilizing those in combination with the sacrifice from your commander, yeah, you can get an absurd amount of value. Again, one single enchantment can draw you 2 cards. Again, that Unbridled Growth can draw you like 3 cards with that, by casting it, drawing a card, sacrificing it, drawing 2 cards. Absolutely incredible. Next up, Resurgent Belief. This is the type of card that can really make this deck hum. A sorcery for 1 and a white. Return all enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. You are resetting all of your enchantments that you sacrificed. Again, you get all those enchantments in play. You sacrifice them for value. You play something like this, or I should say with this one, you suspend it and you wait, and you wait, and then all of a sudden, bam, you have this giant play. You get all those enchantments back into play again. If you got any of those Enchantress Presence doesn't technically work with that, but any of those Enchantress effects that say, when it enters the battlefield, enchantments enter the battlefield, which I'll talk about here in a bit, you're going to be drawing cards. That can double up on that. And of course, sacrifice those enchantments again, draw even more cards. Probably also have some regrowth effects to get something like this back, recast it, etc., etc. Keep doing this and just have this absolutely incredible draw value engine. And have also, take advantage of constellation cards like Archon of Sun's Grace, a 3/4 Archon with flying and lifelink. Pegasus creatures you control have lifelink, and on top of that, Constellation, whenever enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, create a 2/2 white Pegasus creature token with flying. Yeah, that is incredible. That is fantastic. Again, with all these low to the ground enchantments, you get them into play. You then get them back into play with Resurgent Belief. You get extra value out of something like this on top of all that card draw that you're doing. Also, when you're getting all this value, you can also punish your opponents with something like Martyr's Bond. You have all the enchantments, your opponents are going to have absolutely none. Because whenever this or another non-land permanent you control is put graveyard from the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a permanent that shares a card type with it. Again, you're going to be sacrificing enchantment after enchantment after enchantment for your commander. Now, your opponents, all their enchantments are going to be gone. They will not have a single enchantment on the board. There's no chance they have enough enchantments to be able to keep that up with this. So yeah, good luck to them. There are some disgusting things that you can do with this commander, obviously. And yeah, keep in mind, with all these enchantments you're going to be playing, yes, some enchantment cost reduction can also really come into play as well. But now we've talked about all the budget buys. Let's move on to the pricier picks. Again, cards that are outside of my budget, but might be within yours. Some that aren't that, far outside of my budget, like Gaia's Touch. This one's only $1.65. So yeah, maybe it's within your budget. This is a very old card. Yeah, I just kind of try to read the text. I can't remember what the Oracle text exactly is, but basically this is, hey, you can play an extra land on each of your turns. This is a low to the ground enchantment that's fantastic. You can also sacrifice this to add green to your mana pool. So essentially, hey, when you need that burst of mana, you get that mana back from this. Being able to play extra lands is great. I mean, I guess it's just extra forest you can play essentially, right? There's that really weird restriction on it. Still, a fantastic card. And again, when you need that burst of mana, great, do that, sacrifice it, draw that card. Next up, Sterling Grove, an incredible card. Other enchantments you control have Shroud. First of all, that is a great way to protect your enchantments in an enchantment deck. On top of that, pay a single mana, sacrifice it, go tutor for any enchantment card, reveal it, shuffle your library, put that card on top. So yeah, an incredible tutor as well. And again, when you're doing that, sacrificing it, you draw that card. Next up, Aura of Silence. Let's punish our opponents a bit, shall we? Artifact and enchantment spells your opponent's cast cost 2 more to cast. Sacrifice to destroy target artifact or enchantment. So this is a good panic button to just have them play again. Another great deterrent where your opponents might even play around this. If they have a massive, enchantment or a massive artifact in their hand, they might be too worried to actually play this out and say, hey, I just paid 2 extra mana for this, and now you're probably just going to destroy it. And then, draw your card as well. Next up, Defense of the Hearth. This is a gross card. During your upkeep, if one of your opponents controls 3 or more creatures, sacrifice this, search your library to 2 creature cards, put those cards into play, then shuffle your library afterward. Basically a double tutor, again, with card draw on it now thanks to this commander. And yeah, you're in commander. You are playing against 3 opponents. Chances are incredibly likely that one of your opponents is going to have 3 or more creatures. And when they do, go tutor out whatever 2 creatures you want. Maybe 2 great enchantress effects. So have fun. Next up, Koskun Falls. This one's a very weird one. It's kind of like a Ghostly Prison, but in black. During your upkeep, you have to tap an untapped creature you control, or this is sacrificed. So, yeah, if it is, cool, you get to draw that card to replace it. But, yeah, I mean, also, hey, if you just tapped one of your creatures, that's okay. No creature can attack you unless the controller pays 2 extra. So, again, basically Ghostly Prison, but with that requirement. And, again, that sacrifice might be seen as a downside to many. But, again, with this commander, if you need to draw that card, just be like, yeah, I'll just sacrifice this and I'll do that. Moving on. Set this Harvest Hand. Again, at this higher budget, you've got access to even more fantastic enchantresses. It's a great one. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain 1 life, draw a card. Yeah, very low to the ground. Very fantastic. Draws you a ton of cards throughout the game. However, there are even better ones out there like Eidolon of Blossoms. This one says whenever it or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. So, not a cast trigger. This is saying, hey, you have enchantments enter from anywhere, yeah, you're going to be drawing cards, which again can be absolutely incredible because you're going to be having enchantments coming in from here, there, and everywhere because, well, we're also going to be running some Replenish cards. I mean, Replenish is an incredibly expensive card. My goodness, like a $100 card. I think this is reserve list. Anyways, Sorcerer for 4 mana, return all enchantment cards from your graveyard to play. Yeah, for just 4 mana, again, you're going to be getting all those enchantments out. You're going to be sacrificing them. You're going to be getting them back out with something like this. Again, if you got Eidolon of Blossoms in play, cool. You just drew an absurd amount of cards with this giant glut of enchantments coming back into play. You sacrifice them again. You draw even more cards. You see where this is going. There's some incredible things that can go on with a commander like this. And then, yeah, another great one as well. Finally, we've got Sigil of the Empty Throne. Enchantment for 5 mana. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you get a 4/4 white angel creature with flying on the battlefield. This one does not count, when enchantment's going to play on, unfortunately, but still, you're going to be casting enchantment after enchantment after enchantment. There's plenty of ways to win from there. This is a great finisher for you. There's some incredible things that you can do with a commander like this. And yeah, overall, again, yes, you can go with Sagas. Sagas is definitely kind of how this commander is kind of positioned to go, right? Again, the second ability, I am just completely ignoring with my deck that I'm building around this, which is, it might not be that, it might not be recommended, I guess I should say, because again, you are completely ignoring that. You're not getting that value out of that. That being said, I believe that actually, the more powerful version of it, the more focused version of it when it comes to actually taking advantage of all that card draw is actually just utilizing these cards that can sacrifice themselves and be able to draw you an absurd amount of cards quickly, working with enchantress effects, working with other, constellation type effects that can gain you benefits whenever your enchantments are coming into play from here, there, or anywhere. So yeah, I think this commander has a ton of potential. And again, I don't want to play down the saga part of it. That is a pretty cool ability that, hey, you can drain opponents too when your sagas are sacrificed. But yeah, I think you might want to look a little further than just that with this commander. The potential this one might have. Obviously, a combination of the two can be utilized as well. But yeah, as you can probably tell, I'm really excited about this one. Comment below with your thoughts on this. Make sure you check out that card list link in the description below if you're interested in the cards I talked about on this episode. And of course, make sure you're staying tuned for more exciting quick takes and spoilers coming up. And as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.